Hello, I'm EG, and this is Crocheting with EG, and in this video, this is going to be like one of my random videos. I do have a small yarn haul from Hobby Lobby, and then, or that's a weird thing for me to say, of all people, but I have a very small yarn haul for me. It's 3 skeins of clearance yarn, so I'll do that. And then I made a back for my chair, like I mentioned in one of my videos that it would be a good idea to make one for my chair. So I did make that, and I'll put that on first probably. And then I have a couple like random things, and some of them are like tangents. They're not really about crochet or whatever, but I thought, you know, I'll start with the crochet, and then I'll go into in some of these tangents or whatever, because they're kind of related in a way, but some of them are just tangents or whatever. But anyway, but it's, you know, it's not anything new for my ridiculous channel and videos and stuff. So anyway, I'll start with the thing that I made. So this is what I made for the back of my chair, and I didn't have enough yarn to, what I was going to do was I was going to take that, it's the Loops and Threads Impressions, the saltwater taffy. I only had 3 skeins. I was going to make it where it goes from like the top and then all the way down, and then like I was going to be able to like wrap it around here and attach it in some way, but when I was doing it, it was I hate the way my voice does it. It was in my original time on YouTube. I've noticed that it's still there. Like sometimes when in the middle of words, it was kind of like that. And I joke that back then it sort of sounded like one of those clickers from The Last of Us, you know, like you know, that kind of stuff. Thank God that word didn't come all the way out, but I don't know. I'm in this mood lately where I'm like catching myself cussing, and I don't mean to, but I cuss way more than I do in my videos. Or way more than I do in my videos in my everyday life, because you know, it's like F-bomb every other word. But anyway, so I was gonna make it this way, but it didn't get long enough, so I turned it this way. And because I only had 3 skeins of that, and like even after I bought, and it's not like I went into my Michaels and bought all the skeins they had at once. You know, I bought a skein because they were like $8.99, but then I did get a coupon or get a voucher for one of them and all that. But so I bought 3 skeins, but I bought like one day, and then, you know, it was like a week later or a week and a half later, and I got another skein, and then a week later or whatever, I got the third when I bought that. But they still haven't restocked those, and so I just thought, instead of, you know, thinking, and I didn't want to spend the money shipping the freaking skeins. Like you have to, I think you have to spend like $50 or something or whatever it is to get free shipping. And I didn't want to spend shipping just for like 1 skein of that. It's expensive enough, $8.99 regular price at Michaels. And so I didn't want to have to spend another $8.99 or whatever on the yarn, even though it's gorgeous yarn. But so I just thought I could turn it to the side like this, and just kind of drape it over my chair. You can't even see the back of my chair, like where my ass is. So it doesn't have to go all the way down, and it doesn't really have to like attach in the back. It just has to kind of drape over the back of it. And so I thought I would just use it like that. And so it's the Impressions, the saltwater taffy, just gorgeous colors. I used the EG stitch that I made up, and it just turns out so nice. I mean, it turned out so nice. I mean, the stitch does turn out so nice, but you know what I'm saying. I meant like the color and the way this chair back works. So I'm just gonna like drape it over like this. I wish I had like 1 more skein. If they ever get any more of it in, I'll get 1 more skein. But I just don't see them doing it. They still haven't gotten the big twist in or whatever. And so I'm just gonna put it like that, and then kind of fold the top down, sort of tuck in the sides to kind of bring it together like this. And so it'll look like that on the back of my chair. Hopefully it'll look really nice. But so like that, I think it looks nice. But anyway, so I did finish that. It took maybe 2 or 3 days or whatever, because the stitch, the EG stitch, it doesn't take very long to you know, make something big like this, and it actually does work up really well. Now as I'm saying this, what I was going to show was like way over there, and I have to like crawl my big ass under this table just to get to it. It doesn't really matter. I can probably put an insert shot or whatever as I'm talking, but I've said with like my EG stitch to bring out the little clusters, like I call them clusters, whatever this is. It's like it has a texture to it because it has these little clusters, and to bring out the texture of the clusters or whatever, you need like a nice significant yarn. Like sometimes if I use I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, and it's one like this, the thinner side, it'll the clusters don't come out as well. And like with really thick yarn, I tried to use that ring spun one time that from Loops and Threads, and the reason why I'm like sort of off to the side is because I have this shelf here. That's another thing I bought. But like that's why I'm not in the middle, because there's like this big shelf here. But I used the ring spun, and it was so thick, or maybe it's just like the texture of that yarn. The clusters didn't look very good, and so it's kind of like hit or miss. So you have to find like the right kind of yarn, and so. I was kind of leery to use like thick yarn because of like how the ring spun, or how the EG stitch looked in the ring spun. But this turned out gorgeous, and so because like with that glow throw that I call it, I doubled up the yarn. It's kind of like the same thickness as this. So like just make sure. No, my light flickered. God. No, the light bulb in here. Oh, and that's another thing. If you notice like how much brighter it is in here, it's because like I was looking up at the ceiling the other day, and I was looking and I thought, okay, my light fixture, or it's like the the light socket. There's 2 holes or whatever, and I was thinking, there's only 1 bulb in that. Why do I only have like 1 bulb in that freaking light fixture? And like I didn't even think about it. And so like I put another bulb in it. And what I did was now that it flickered or whatever, I feel like it's the bulb that I took, because I just replaced the bulb in my lamp in the living room, and because it was kind of flickering or whatever, and so now I'm realizing that the one that I had next to the pack of bulbs in there wasn't one that fell out. I think the one that was in there was the one that was flickering. It's going bad. So but I don't know, I'm gonna have to move all this stuff to like put the ladder up and get up there and take that out and put whatever. So hopefully it won't flicker anymore, but it's the bulb that's going bad. So like I put an extra bulb in it so that it's nice and bright in here or whatever, and you can really see things well. But now it's like, oh, I have to change it anyway because it's the bulb that's going bad. Whatever. God. So just. This video is just a total chaotic mess here at the beginning, but whatever. So I did put another light in the light fixture. Hopefully it's nice and bright in here. You can really see all the yarn and stuff. But you can see all my flaws or whatever. Can you see how frizzy my hair is? I just took a shower a little while ago. My hair's gonna look like Monica's in Barbados. Or like my sister's. I'm going to talk about my sister because there's this drawing that I did. It's sort of a tangent, but it kind of makes sense in the context of this video. But anyway, my sister had a lot of hair. But anyway, so but my hair's going to look all ridiculous. But you're going to see all my flaws and my wrinkles and stuff, or my snaggle tooth, or like all this, whatever. But anyway, but at least it's like nice and bright in here. You can really see my yarn really nicely. But and you know this shows up really nice on the camera, or as I'm looking at it. But anyway. So I did put another light in the light fixture. I felt like how stupid that I didn't even think that, because like who looks up at their ceiling or whatever unless you have to, and I was thinking as many videos as I've done in here, because like before all this, like turning this into a yarn room, I didn't really spend a whole lot of time in this room or whatever. Like when I had a dog, like this was sort of like her room. Like she had her own little couch in here and stuff, and like this would be like where we put her away at night. We let her walk around the house all day or whatever, but then we like put her away in her little room. This was basically like her room, and she had like her own little couch back in there, or like where my yarn shelves are and stuff, and she'd have her own little room. And so like we didn't really spend a lot of time in here because this was like her room, and then it became the laundry room and stuff. And now that like I'm spending a lot of time in here, I'm noticing like, oh wait a minute, there's only one freaking light bulb in the socket up there. And so I put a light bulb in there. It just felt like so stupid that I didn't even realize that. I'm like filming videos in here for God knows how many weeks or months at this point, and then I didn't even think, oh, maybe I should put another light socket up, or light in the light socket. Or it felt like I've been like editing my videos or whatever, and I've noticed like the videos that I had taken on my phone were like really low quality and stuff. I mean, I know that this is like a cheap cell phone or whatever, but like I just thought like, why are the videos like that bad quality? I mean, they look like videos that were filmed on a phone, that they made in the 90s or whatever. They were just really bad. And then I was looking in the settings or whatever, and I was like, did you know that you can change the settings on the video to make them high quality? I thought like they were on low quality because I'm a dumbass. So I was like sitting there like or like in the store filming videos, not even realize that the videos were set on low quality. So like no wonder that the videos were all like messed up and low quality and stuff. I'm sitting there like in the video editor or whatever, going like, why are all these squares on? It's all pixelated or what? I'm like, yeah, that's because I've been filming on low quality. I mean, they're bad enough anyway because like I don't like, I'm not comfortable filming in stores or whatever because like you know I don't want to like draw attention to myself. So they're all like kind of you know jolting all over the place or whatever. Because I don't want like anybody to see me like filming you know a little 30-second, not even 30-second, like a 10-second video in the store. But so they're already kind of bad quality anyway. But then I just thought it's like you can't even see anything. That's because I was filming on low quality because I'm an idiot. But whatever. So I just felt like maybe I should put a light in the other side of the light fixture or whatever. Or maybe I should, you know, when I'm filming a video, check to make sure that the video is set to like high quality, for God's sake. Anyway, so whatever. And so I don't even know how I got off on all that stuff. So because the light flickered and it like threw me off. So anyway, so I did make my chair back or whatever. And let me just say this just to get this out of the way. This this shelf. I got it at Goodwill. It was only $6. It's like a two-piece, but like it fits into each other. I'm just gonna lift up one part of it. Or it doesn't really matter. I think it's supposed to be like a shoe rack. But it's I'm like getting old. God, making all kinds of noises just getting out of a freaking chair. So I didn't even like lift up anything. I just like sat up on my chair. You would have thought I was like lifting up something really heavy, but I just like sat my ass up out of the chair. This is the the shelf, and so it's the same kind of thing except it's just like a two-piece, and then it kind of fits on top of each other and has all these little wooden dowel things that connect it together. And I guess it's like for shoes or something, but it's a nice shelf. But what I was hoping it would be, I'm just pushing the damn thing off to the side. I'm pushing the damn thing off to the side. But what I thought was it was the same Goodwill that I bought that white shelf over there in my corner at. And I'm thinking like Raymond, you're not supposed to end a sentence with a preposition. You know that there's that episode of Raymond, whatever. You know where Marie's like I forget the quote where she says something like that's how we got to be where we're at, or like whatever it is. You know that episode. I'm sure I messed up the quote. I have so many in my head it's kind of hard to get them exactly right. But the shelf is exactly like that white one over there. Like the same paint kind of look and all that. So I was hoping that this, because I got that shelf at that Goodwill, that this was part of that set or whatever. And I was hoping that what this shelf would do would sit on. I almost said something for some reason. I was hoping that it would sit like on top of that shelf. Like, but the shelf here is too deep and too wide, like by like an inch too wide, and so it's too deep too. So it doesn't fit over there on top of that shelf. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I don't even need it for yarn because I have so much room in here now. So I don't know. This may just end up being a shelf that like I was going to put it right here in front of this chest of drawers because like we hardly ever get into the bottom drawers here. But like then I would have to move it every single time I set up my table in here, so it just would sort of be in the way. So I might just end up, if I don't use it in my niece's playroom for something or whatever, I'll probably put like, I don't even think you can fit a DVD on it. Oh, I do have a DVD with me. Let me see. No, it doesn't fit. It's just it's just a random thing I was going to talk about. But I'll put something on it. You know, some kind of physical media or some of my collectibles or crafts or like whatever. I'll put it upstairs somewhere. But it's a nice shelf. I was hoping it would match that. But again, I don't really need it for yarn. But anyway, so I got that out of the way. So anyway, let me get to some of this other stuff. I just kind of grouped my pen. I just kind of grouped my notes into like sort of sections of like which store I went to or just like general things, but they're not like in any kind of order, but I'm trying to like group all this stuff together because this is sort of like an all over the place video, so I wanted to kind of try to organize it in some way. So I'll take care of the Hobby Lobby stuff first. You know, it's a couple trips in one, but I was going over there, but the reason why I was going to Hobby Lobby is I was looking for that moldable plastic just to see, like I was kind of hoping it would end up in the clearance section because they're still like marking down stuff or like moving stuff around or whatever, and so they didn't discount the moldable plastic, but I did get a tub of it because what I noticed that when they were working in that aisle, they were I would show. I was gonna, like, when I talked about this, I was gonna, like, show it in a video how to do it, or like some kind of way of, like, I was going to show, like, how it works, how you melt it, and how you can mold it into things. But, like, this video is going to be long enough anyway. But I'll save that for another video because it's going to be a longer involved process. But I do want to show how this moldable plastic works. But what they did in that aisle is they just moved stuff around. And they replaced some of those glass plates or whatever and all that. But I was hoping that when they were going through that aisle, they were going to mark this down. But they didn't. What they did was they put it back on the shelf. But then they put some newer tubs of this there with a higher price on it. It's weird when they don't discount something, but they put the old prices there mixed in with the new prices. Because, like, I've experienced that before. I've gone through some of their poster boards and or something else, and of course, and then I was, like, going through their posters, and I thought, I'm gonna, like, dig through, and, like, if you dug through to the bottom, like, some of them had the older prices on it that were cheaper. And so it's weird that they would rather just, like, leave like the same thing, same exact thing, but then if you dig through, there's, like, different prices. Like the glitter was that way too. Like when I was for the 10th Kingdom bookmarks that I made, I was making these little bags of traffic. I was making these little bags that sort of imitated the troll dust in the 10th Kingdom, and I was looking through their glitter, and they had the same kind of glitter, same brand, same name, and all that stuff, but they were, like, different prices, and I was, like, digging through to, like, find the cheaper ones or whatever. It's stupid that they just, like, put all the old stuff there, or leave the old stuff there with the old prices. I mean, it's kind of a good thing. I don't want them to, like, stick a price on it that like, you know, how Dollar Tree's sticking those red stickers over prices to make sure that people know that they're more expensive, but still, it's just kind of weird that it's all mixed in, and you can, like, dig through and find cheaper prices. But anyway, so I did get this moldable plastic, and as I'm saying this, I wanted to show my bag of moldable plastic too, but I didn't need this. I have a whole bag of this moldable plastic. The brand that I use is called Polyplastics. There's other brands on Amazon. I think the most recognizable name brand is Instamorph. And so, but I use the Polyplastics brand because they have, like, these big 5-pound bags, and they stretch so much. And I've made so many things with that moldable plastic. But I'm stuttering today. But I realized that the moldable plastic at Hobby Lobby, even though I have to get it in smaller containers, is actually cheaper. If you multiply this by 10 to equal, like, 5 pounds and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so this is what the moldable plastic looks like. It's in these little tubs or these little containers, and they're this one was $5.99. I went ahead and bought this even though I didn't need it because I have a whole big bag. But I thought, because, like, when I looked at and I saw that they put the moldable plastic back, they had this there. Of course, they had this, like, tucked in the back. And then in the front, they had it looked exactly like this, except it was $6.49. So I thought, I'm gonna get the one that's cheaper, even though I don't need it, because it's sort of like a deal in my head now. Like, the regular price of what it was is, like, a deal in my head. It's already a deal because it's cheaper than the brand that I buy. But I went ahead and bought this because, I will use this. It's really nice, and I do kind of want to use this just to see if I mean, it's the same material, but, like, I want to make sure that it melts the same way the Polyplastics the Polyplastics bag does, but I'm sure it does. But this is what it looks like, and these, like, little pellets that they have on Amazon, at least. They have like, sheets of it you can buy, like, if you just want to melt, like, a sheet of it, and there's all kinds of different ways it comes. But, like, what I like to get is these little pellets, and you just put them in boiling water, and then they melt, and then you have to, like, gently pull it out. I burn the hell out of my hands so many times, like, working with that stuff. But yeah, because you have to kind of work with it quick, because it'll harden up within like 5 or 10 minutes. But then you can, like, remelt it or whatever. It's a really cool medium. But I don't know what other people use this for. I use it for all kinds of creative things. I'll show in the future. But I mean, on my website probably, because there's no, unless I incorporate it into my ceramics. But it's a really cool medium, and so you just put it in there, and you can kind of mold it or whatever, and then it hardens back up, and you can paint it. I put glitter all over it, and just all kinds of creative things. But this is what it looks like, and so I went ahead and bought this at Hobby Lobby. But that was, like, a separate trip, because I wanted to get it. But hopefully, if you do have a Hobby Lobby, like check for that stuff, because it's such a neat medium or whatever. It's really cool. But anyways, let me get to the yarn finally. So I did go in there. That's what I was looking for, to see if they were going to discount it, but they didn't discount it. So and I wasn't expecting to find any yarn or whatever. How many times have I said that? Got it. That should be on repeat. But I wasn't expecting to find any. But I went through there just to kind of glance, and they had like some skeins of yarn, but it sort of felt good to like actually know that I have enough at home where I could just, instead of like sort of panic buy. I'm not like panic buying, but like when I would like buy all the yarn or whatever, because I thought like, oh, I'm building up my stash or whatever. Oh, it's like a really good deal. I actually got to like really take my time to go through it and stuff, and so I only picked the ones that I really wanted. I didn't have any like medium 4 acrylics except for this anti-pilling skein, but I was hoping that they would have like some variegated colors or whatever if they ever do get any more yarn in the clearance section, or I mean the remnants. But they did have a Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek Chunky, and the low pill fiber, and this was $1.24. It's in the black, and I have so many skeins of this, but I don't have a black, and in the regular or the chunky. So I thought, that it's kind of that purple, that dark purple I have is almost black, but it's not. I wasn't even going to get this because I thought like, I have so many skeins of black and like the acrylic or whatever, but when I was like moving the skeins of yarn, I touched it and I thought, God, this is so soft. Like some of these soft and sleek chunky or soft and sleek in general aren't really as soft as like some of the nicer yarns at Hobby Lobby. There are a couple that are a little rough. Not like some of the Red Heart rough, but like my teddy bears were. Oh, I was gonna say this. Let me just go off on this tangent. But I wanted to have my teddy bear in here as my little co-host or whatever. I should move this back. Of course, you probably won't even see him. No, but just know that my teddy bear is in this room right now, because as I'm filming this, by the time this comes out, it's like a month and a half later. So, but as I'm filming this, today is the 18th anniversary of my sister's death. So God, that's a horrible thing to think about. So I thought like I'll have the teddy bear that used to be hers, but then she gave me when I was a kid, and I thought I'd have this in the room with me, because then this is the one I made this sweater for, and out of like Red Heart yarn or what. It's in one of my other videos, but like I wanted to have my teddy bear in here to make me think of my sister. But but he's in here, and he's just like sitting over there to the side. He's kind of shy, I guess. He's gonna sit off to the side. No, he's just he's my little co-host for today. But anyway. Because I'm thinking about my sister, and so but I was like, I felt this yarn, and I thought like this is really soft, and so I went ahead and bought this anyway. And then and I didn't have a black in this, so I'm glad that I bought it. $1.24 for that. And then they had one of these because when I was putting my niece's yarn on her wall or whatever, there was a skein of that Yarn Bee Perfectly Plush, and it's like sort of a brown color, and this is like really soft compared to like some of the like this, the Cozy Occasion. It's really soft. It's like a plush yarn, and see, this must have been a return because there's still a loop on it. That's why I thought it was kind of funny. So I guess this was a return. I don't know why. It's really nice, but but I went ahead and bought this. It's the colorway Dusty Terracotta, and so I thought it kind of matches that brown, and so I don't know what I want to use this for, but. And like part of me, this is kind of a stupid thing, but like when I buy this yarn, and in my head I've already given it to my niece, I sort of feel bad like even thinking of using her yarn. Like half this yarn she hasn't even seen yet because she hasn't been over here in a while. But like I feel bad like even thinking like, if I use this yarn, it's going to be like I'm using her yarn. Like, it's not even hers yet. Or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in my head, I already gave it to her. Or, like, even if I use some of it to make something for her, it's going to feel like I'm sort of using her yarn. So, it's kind of stupid. But, like, I don't know. I just feel like this matches that brown so much. I want to use these to make something. Or maybe I should, like, I'll wait and see if my niece wants to make something with this. And then, if she doesn't, then I'll like pair this with that brown, because they're going to match, and like make something. Even if I feel like I'm going to make something for her. I don't know what it's going to be, but like, I just feel like if I use her yarn, I feel like I want to use it for her. But like even that, I sort of feel like guilty for like using her yarn, even though I don't know, it's stupid. But in my head, I've already given it to her, so it's like, oh, here's this. Oh, but wait, I'm going to make something out of it first. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I did get one of those. And then the other one was that Yarn Bee Cozy Occasion in the color olive. I know I have 2 on my niece's wall, but I sort of got this for myself because it is that really pretty olive color. And like, again, I sort of feel like there's 2 on her wall, but like I don't want to use it. Like if I decide to use this yarn for something, I want to get one for myself, even though there's already 2 in this room that are mine, and I don't even think she's seen either one of them yet. But I just feel like I already gave it to her. It's still in this room, but I feel like I've already gifted it to her. It's already her. So like I don't want to use it. So it's kind of dumb, but like I don't know. But I don't want to like take back something that I gave her or whatever, or use something that I gave her. But anyways, I got one for myself. It's like the olive color because it's a really pretty olive green. So, but it felt really good to like go through the skeins of yarn and just feel like I don't need to like panic. There were some crappy ones in there, but you know what I'm saying. That helped in my decision making process. But like it felt really good to just kind of like take the time to say, or I want to pair this with that brown, and I do want that green for myself, and then that black. I know I don't have a black, but it's really soft too, so I'll get that. Instead of just like grabbing them all and like being really excited and grabbing them all and sort of in this panic buying way to like build up my stash or whatever, like in the excitement of it. I just thought like I'm gonna take my time to like pick and choose which ones I wanted, so I picked the ones that I wanted. But anyway. So that was like felt like an accomplishment just to pick the ones I wanted. So anyway. Oh, and then I was thinking, I was looking at some of these skeins of yarn, and not these, but like some of mine, and I was like wondering, like, because it still kind of fascinates me, like where all this yarn came from, like the big haul that I came across in Hobby Lobby and all that, and like where all these clearance skeins are coming from. Oh, and by the way, I wrote her name down. Her channel is Nova Gnome Creations, and I'll link to her video in the description. She, as I'm filming this, it's September. I should know. It's September 9th, and so as I'm filming this, it's September 9th, and she filmed or she posted a video the other day, and she went into her Hobby Lobby, and she came across the same kind of thing that I came across, like all those carts of yarn and stuff. She got all kinds of yarn. Like her video is so adorable because like her and her sister are just like giggling the whole time or whatever, and just having fun going through the yarn. She got some really nice yarn. I like a lot of really pretty variegated colors and stuff. I just enjoyed watching her entire video. I like subscribed right away, halfway into it, because I couldn't believe how like I found somebody else that got that same kind of thing. Like went into their Hobby Lobby and there was all this yarn or whatever. And so in her Hobby Lobby, she had 4 carts that weren't as full, and then as the ones in my store, and then the clearance section, which seemed wider than mine, like the remnants or whatever that was, it was wider than mine, but it didn't have as many skeins in it. But there were 4 carts instead of 3, and so in mine the remnant section was like stuffed full, and then there were only 3 carts, and one of them was sort of almost full with that big thick yarn, and then the other 2 were just like overflowing with yarn. So it seemed like we got about the same amount of yarn, but she got a lot of the variegated acrylics and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't the same exact kind of yarn. There were different colorways, but I just enjoyed her video. So like go watch her video and subscribe to her channel too. I couldn't believe I found somebody else that got like that kind of opportunity and deal and stuff. So she needs to have a deal magnet too. If I knew her or whatever, I would make her one of these. No, she needs to like consider that like a deal magnet fund. This is like sort of a once in a lifetime opportunity for like one person, but she got a once in a lifetime opportunity too to find all that yarn. It was just like, it was so much fun watching her video. But anyway, so but I did watch her video, and then so but I was thinking about all these skeins of yarn, and like really looking at the price stickers and stuff, and if you look at them, there's numbers on them, and I mean, well, duh, there's numbers on them. Not this one. It's on a discounted one. There's numbers on them. Or both of these are that way, but there's numbers on them. So there's like there's the reduced thing, and then like the $1.24, and then I was wondering like what those numbers were above the $1.24. And so the first 3 digits there's like a 3-digit number and then a 2-digit number. And so like the first 3 numbers are the store number, because I looked at my receipt and I thought, oh, that number on my receipt is the same one on the skein of yarn, on the discounted skein. And so I thought, oh, that's the store number. And so I thought like, oh, now that I know know that the 3-digit number there on the price sticker, like the clearance sticker, is a store number. I can kind of go through some of these skeins and like look and see like if what I suspect happened is these are from like another store or like a warehouse or whatever. And so I was looking, and like most of the skeins that I've gotten have like all those skeins from the or not all, because I didn't go through every single one of them, but like most of them, the ones I pulled out, or every single one of them were like the my store number. But then some of the ones like the sort of random amounts of yarn that I got leading up to that moment, they have a different number on it. And so I thought that's weird. So they came from another store. I looked up the store number on their on Hobby Lobby's website, because you can look it up, and it's a store in Ohio. And what was funny is I thought like I sort of imagine like somebody from Ohio like watching my video, and because I've gotten like comments from people saying like, oh, I wish that my Hobby Lobby had sales like that. Mine never has any clearance on it. I always say something kind of funny back, like maybe it does, but like somebody like me is like buying it up or whatever before you can get it, before you can get to it. It's sort of like this funny way, meaning like, oh, somebody in their town, but like I always say, like, somebody like me is probably buying it up before you get a chance to get it. But then knowing that like some of these are from Ohio, I'm thinking like, what if somebody from Ohio was like watching my video and thought, oh man, I wish that I could get some of those skeins, and then I say something back to them like, maybe somebody like me is like buying it up, but like then it might turn out that like it's not somebody like me, it's somebody, it's actually me getting the skeins that should have stayed in that Ohio store. So like imagine you're like from that store or from that area, and you go to that store and you think, God, I never get any clearance on, and then finding out that the gluttonous prick on YouTube that is like getting all these clearance skeins or whatever, like actually has yarn that was supposed to be in your store, or like is marked down from your store. So it's not like it wasn't somebody like me, it actually was me. It was just like this funny realization. But all the numbers are from that same Ohio store. But what's weird is that Ohio store is still open. So it's not like that Ohio store closed or anything. What's also weird is that like those ones that I bought, the big haul, like I don't know if they all came from another store or what, but I know that they were discounted in my store because the price stickers have my store number on it. So I know that they were at least priced there. I don't know where they came from. I don't know if they came from a warehouse or that Ohio store or some other store, but I know that they were discounted in my store. But like if these have stickers on them that are discounted, that have on the discount sticker have the store from Ohio on it, that means that these were actually discounted at that Ohio store. So how they ended up in my store, my store, God, that's a southern accent's really coming out today. How they ended up in my store, not my store. How they ended up there, I have no idea. Were they, because like if the store is still open, did they just not sell? Were people not buying them, and so they had to like send them to a warehouse, and the warehouse sent them to my store just to get rid of them, or like what? But they were actually marked down in that store, but yet they ended up in mine. And so, and that's like states away too. So it was weird to realize that, but even funnier to think that, or not funnier, I sort of felt bad about I sort of felt bad for the people in Ohio that actually they're not going to come across my video, but maybe like one random person, in the future, maybe. I mean, the odds of somebody in that town coming across my video are really slim. But like, I sort of felt bad about the people in that town that that have that Hobby Lobby that's still open, and that are like that may come across my video or like some video and hear about like there's clearance skeins at Hobby Lobby, and then going there and wondering like, why don't I ever get any of mine? And then realizing that I got them, like I literally got them, even though I live states away. But it was just so weird. And so now I'm like looking at all my skeins, like these two right here that I just pulled out. These are from that Ohio store. So I don't know. It's weird. But it seems like the ones that were from that Ohio store were some of the ones, not all of them, but like some of those ones where it was like I would go into Hobby Lobby and they would have like 12 skeins, and I would get those, and then there would be like a couple days where there wouldn't be any, and then there would be like a whole bunch more, and then I'd get those, and then be like a couple days, and then it'd be like 11 more, or like whatever. It seemed like those were the ones from that Ohio store. So I don't know. But anyway, but they were discounted at the store, so that's even weirder. But anyway. Okay, now since I already talked about that shelf from Goodwill, I'll talk about like the Goodwill stuff. So I got the shelf at Goodwill, and so, some of this is like, I think most of it is sort of like random stuff. But like talking about, I know I complain about the whole Goodwill prices or whatever, but like when I was gonna show this too, hang on. No, but since I was getting into this anyway, I went ahead and brought this bag of polyplastics, moldable plastic in here. This is how it comes. This is a brand new bag. I got it on Amazon, so it's 5 pounds of this stuff, and so that's like what the brand looks like. This is the kind I usually get, but this bag is $70 regular price. It fluctuates because Amazon prices, but that's how much this bag is. But it's worth it if you love this medium as much as I do, and it lasts so long. This is probably like maybe the 3rd or 4th bag I've ever gotten, and I've made so many things with it, or it might be like the 3rd bag. So it lasts so long. But that's what that looks like. But what I was getting was complaining about the Goodwill prices. I was in Goodwill and they had some VHS tapes of I Love Lucy, and I have episodes like taped from Nick at Night or whatever. I have episodes taped from TV Land. I have the DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, and I have VHS tapes of them and all that. I didn't need to buy those at Goodwill, so I didn't. But I also wouldn't have bought them because they were ridiculously priced. I know these are like, oh, VHS tapes are like, collectibles or whatever. No, if you can buy the whole series of I Love Lucy at Walmart right now for less than $30 on DVD, with all the special features and all that kind of stuff, and like high quality on DVD for $30. Nobody's going to spend $7 for one VHS tape at Goodwill. Like this is, it's like the Columbia House or whatever, or no, CBS Video Library, the same kind of thing, or it might be what it used to be. Those things. I feel like some of these were from my my aunt. Some of them were ones that I think my grandma had. But I was never a member of this this video club to get these I Love Lucy tapes. But and this one, it's so old, like some of the plastic things coming off the case. But I have the Betamax of some of these. These were from my aunt. She actually had the Betamax. I've never had a Betamax player in my entire life, so I don't know. But like, this is what a Betamax tape looks like. Young kids, this is what a Betamax looks like. I feel like some old person. This is what a Betamax looks like. But it was even before my time. I never used a Betamax, but I have some of the Betamax tapes. Like if anything, these are probably worth more than the VHS tapes. But I would never sell these. But they're not. But at the same time, they're not really worth. They're worth it to me because it's like a cool collectible thing. But like at the same time, they're not worth $7 each. Because like these things, this one right here has 3 episodes on it. There's 179, and then 180 if you include the Christmas episode, and then there's like the 13 episodes of the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour or whatever, the one that came after that. So this has 3 episodes on it, and they were selling it for $7. Or it was like a VHS tape, not the Betamax or whatever. And then I do have a couple of the VHS tapes, and so that's what like the VHS tapes look like. So they had two of these, 2 of the VHS. And do you even know what a VHS is, kids? If you're watching this, you know, you're old enough to know what a VHS tape is. I have like hundreds of these in my house. But I loved VHS tape. But anyway, so. Like the ones in there in that store had one episode, one tape had 3 episodes and another had 4 episodes. So nobody was going to spend $14 to get 7 episodes of I Love Lucy when you can buy, all 180 plus the Lucy Desi Comedy Hours at Walmart for literally $30 on DVD. Restored, high quality, like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody would ever buy them for that. So that's what, like when I complain about the Goodwill prices, I do get some deals at Goodwill, but when I complain about the prices, it's because of crap like that. Do they not like look on eBay to see what these stuff go for? Like, nobody's buying these for $7 a tape. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it's like that whole Disney thing where people think that the Disney tapes and the clamshells are worth like thousands of dollars, even though they don't really sell for that. I don't know, but anyway, so they had that. That was just sort of a random thing, like everything in this video. But then sort of complaining about the prices too. They had I collect Harry Potter stuff, and they had a Harry Potter. It was a Hermione's wand, and it didn't even work. You push the button. It's like one of those. It had like the box with it and everything. I don't know if it was like a Wizarding World exclusive or like it was like one of those nice wands, and it had like a button, and you could put or hit it, and then the end of it would light up. It didn't even work anymore, but it had the box. and they were selling it for $15. And I thought, like, it doesn't even work or whatever, and they got this stuff for free, and they're selling it for $15. Like, it's that kind of stuff that really ticks me off. And so, whatever. And then they had, like, some Harry Potter puzzles, like those 3D puzzles, $10. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of stuff just irks me so bad. Of course, also because I'm a cheap person, and I don't want to pay, you know, a whole lot for anything, practically. But it's that kind of stuff. Like, when I complain about Goodwill, it's because of that kind of stuff. Yeah, you can find good deals, but when you come across stuff like that, like VHS tapes that I know aren't worth hardly anything. They're worth it to me because it's kind of like a cool collectible. But like, I could never put these on eBay and make $7 a tape for these. You know what I'm saying? Because people are going to think that's like half the price of buying the whole set on DVD and it's all restored and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, but so that was just like some random thing I was complaining about. But I did buy, and I swear I'm going to get back to, you know, some crochet stuff. But this is sort of like one of my random all over the place videos. But they did have a season of Mom. I do like that sitcom Mom. But this is like one of the print-on-demand seasons or whatever. And like I have a huge DVD collection, and I'm only saying this one DVD in this video, so it doesn't really matter. But they had this, and their prices in Goodwill for DVDs are $3 a piece, which, you know, it's a kind of okay. It used to be $1.99, now it's $2.99. But there are pawn shops in my town that have DVDs for $1 a piece. Some of them are cheaper than that, depending on the pawn shop. And there've been, like, I go in my pawn shop so much and look through their DVDs so much that they know me so well that, like, there've been times where I go in there and like go up to the register with a stack of DVDs and they say, "Oh, I just take them." Like that, like, talk about a deal magnet. Like, I have. There it goes again. I need to change that light bulb. God, it's one of those kind of flickers until it goes out. God. But anyway, so but talk about a deal magnet. I've gone into a couple pawn shops and they just say, "Oh, just take them." Like, I had like the whole set of Saved by the Bell, or like the original seasons, the later ones that weren't in it, but like the original 3 sets of Saved by the Bell, and I was buying it for nostalgic reasons, not because I just love that show. But, you know, it's kind of embarrassing to even say it. But I didn't watch that when I was growing up. And so I was like walking up to the register, and the guy goes, "Oh, you just have 3? I'll just take them." Like, for free, like for nothing, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's how much of a deal magnet I am, it feels like sometimes. But they had this, and this is like one of those manufacturer on demand DVDs that are like $30 a piece on Amazon, because they have to like make them as you buy them. And so I found this for $3. $3 isn't a good price in Goodwill, but for this it was, so I did buy that. It's season 6. I think I have 1 through 4. I don't have 5, and I don't have 7 and 8 or whatever, because they're print on demand, and I'm too cheap to buy them. But I do like that show, Mom. But anyway, so but it's weird how much of a deal magnet I am sometimes, even with things outside of the crochet. It sort of feels like it runs in my family a little bit, and because like my mom tells this story sometimes where she was at where in her hometown they had this thing every year for July 4th, and they have it up at like the park or whatever, and they have like, you know, rides and stuff and fireworks or whatever, and they were up there one time. This was like years ago when I was a kid, and they had this raffle, and like the 2 prizes, like it was like a ham or something, and then like this barrel of, like, I should tell you like where she's from. There's a barrel of food. It was like a barrel of like canned foods and like baby foods and like all kinds of like, you know, canned foods or whatever, and so that was like the 2 prizes, and so like my mom you know, got some tickets, and my grandma got some tickets, and the like whatever, and my mom won the barrel of food, and my grandma won the ham. Like, and it was like, so it feels like, you know, there's a lot of like, you know, lucky deal finding or whatever in my family or whatever, and so it's not really like I'm just a deal magnet. It feels like it's kind of hereditary. I'm just making this up. It's not really a hereditary trait, but you know what I'm saying. Or like the other day, we were in a Walmart's parking lot, and I was going in there to get some groceries or whatever, and she was listening to the radio in the car, and then they were saying, "Oh, there's like a pizza giveaway. There's this radio station around here that if you answer like a trivia question, if you're like the whatever caller, and then you answer a trivia question right, you get like a free pizza from Domino's and like a 2-liter of soda." And so she thought, well, I'm in the car, so she just called, and then she said that the guy was like, hello, you're on the radio. And like, so like she was on the radio, and then and like she answered the trivia question, and I can't remember what it was, but it was something that like it's one of those questions like you just have to kind of guess at. And then she guessed at the answer, and then and she won a pizza. And so like I came out of the store, you know, with the groceries or whatever, and then she was like, oh, guess what? I won a pizza on the radio. It was like so weird. So like she won a pizza, and so like we got it. We actually went to Domino's yesterday and got it. I had to wait like an hour for that damn pizza. It was good. I haven't eaten Domino's in years, but like I mean it was worth it because it was like a free thing. I'll sit in the car for like an hour waiting for a pizza because you know it's free. It's too bad that I didn't find any clearance yarn at Hobby Lobby that day because I had my my keychain with like the crochet hooks on, like the one that is hanging up. I could have like actually sat in the car and used it and crocheted or whatever, waiting for that damn pizza. But it was worth it, but you know, because it was free. But anyway, so but my mom got a free pizza and stuff. So the deal magnet thing is sort of like it feels like a hereditary trait sometimes, even though it's not. But you know what I'm saying. But anyway, but the other deal that I was still on the whole Goodwill thing was the other day I went into Goodwill, and they had I love like jewels and stuff like that. You know, that big jewel that I got at Hobby Lobby, one of my videos. I collect these. These are the ones I really like. These glass jewels that look like big diamonds and stuff. I have. It's just so stupid that I'm like collecting these kind of things. But I love these kind of jewels, and like these glass jewels and stuff, and they're really pretty. And I'm sure they're like paperweights, but like they're just like I have like a jewel collection, and one's pink and one's purple. And these were priced at $2.99 a piece. So I thought, you know, $3 a piece. That's pretty good for these things. And so they had that, and then they had this is so ridiculous. They had like Crumb from All Around Monsters, Crumb. And so they had this in there, and this is only $2. They didn't know what this was. Luckily the sticker it's a vintage one because it says 1995. It doesn't say like Nickelodeon on it. If it would have said Nickelodeon on it, they probably would have put $20 on this thing at my Goodwill, but they actually put $2 on this. So it was like a really good deal. And what's cool about this, and this is sort of like memories today, but what's cool about this is I actually vividly remember seeing this in my book Big Lots when I was a kid, and sort of wanting it but not getting it. And so, like, this is the same one. So it's kind of cool. And what's cool is, like, the eyes come attached, but it's still, they're still attached by the thread that like you can pull it off or whatever, but then you can like stick it on with the Velcro, but they're still attached by the thread. So like the fact that the eyes are still on there, but it's so cool that like I came across this because like I sort of wanted this when I was a kid. Back when Big Lots was a really good store, or I think it still exists somewhere, but like in my area they've all closed or whatever, but like back when Big Lots was sort of like how Ollie's is now, where you go in there and there's all kinds of like fun junk to kind of dig through. It's sort of like that with Ollie's, but like when they started to turn into like you walk into Big Lots, and if you're like from my generation, you don't want to walk into a Big Lots and then buy like a sofa for $900. Like, you know what I'm saying? When it started to turn into like a furniture store, it wasn't fun to go into Big Lots anymore. But like I remember the Big Lots when they had stuff like this, and like these funny little toys and stuff, and like a bunch of junk kind of stuff. Sort of like how Ollie's is now. They're just unapologetically like I forget the exact term they call it, but like are semi-organized or semi-neat store, or like whatever it is, where they sort of acknowledge the fact that their store isn't in perfect condition or whatever. It's kind of like junky or whatever, but they kind of embrace it. Or good stuff cheap, or like all that stuff. I do love Ollie's because it sort of reminds me of how Big Lots used to be. And but my Big Lots when I was growing up had this in it, and I almost wanted it, but I didn't get it. I don't know why. But it's weird that I have this now. But it's kind of stupid too that I have this. I have like a Reptar and I have all kinds of little plushies and stuff from 90s Nickelodeon or whatever. Now I have like Crumb, but anyway, so God, I not only have TV and movie references, I have like quotes and stuff. I do imitate characters sometimes. I don't mean to, but let me plug in my camera. God. But the reason why this is even cooler is because the only thing I got on this shopping trip were these ridiculous glass jewels, and then this. And so it was like, you know, these were supposed to be $6, and then this was $2, and which is a deal in and of itself. But whatever. And so it was like, you know, 6 and 2, so it was like $8 with tax. And then it was like we had reached the $100 mark, and so it took $5 off. So all this for $3, like, and so, but in my head it's sort of like I got this for free. It's like, you know, something from my childhood that I really wanted, and now I got it. I sort of got it for free because of like the whole the way the $5 was taken off. And so these were like in my head like, you know, $1.50 a piece. So, but anyway, so that was like a really good deal at Goodwill. And so I don't come across them very often, but when I do, I like to acknowledge it. But anyway, let me go on to the next thing. But I went to Dollar Tree because I saw on YouTube that somebody had come across, they actually had some variegated yarn at Dollar Tree. I didn't want to buy it because I already have enough yarn, but also I know that, like, I don't know if their yarn has gone up to $1.50 or not. But even if it was just $1.25, the skeins in my head, because like I'm so used to Hobby Lobby clearance yarn, you know, full skeins for $1.24, $1.25 for like one of those little tiny skeins of yarn is not a good deal in my head, just because I'm a cheap person. But like but I sort of wanted to go in there just to see what they look like and film it for, you know, just like put a little insert shot in my YouTube video. I mean, I wasn't gonna buy it, but they didn't have any of the variegated colors. They're not like, you know, really variegated. It looks kind of like this speckled yarn, but they didn't have any in my store. But while I was in there, I did film the like those little tiny skeins of Red Heart that they have. They're adorable, but they're even less of a good deal because of like the yardage is shorter than the whatever yarn that they have there over there for $1.25 or $1.50 or whatever it is now. They're even less of a deal because of how much yardage is in those things. But they're adorable, these little tiny Red Heart skeins. And but I did film those, and then I did film they had those big Red Hearts. They're like 5 pound. I wish. No, that one. I was thinking about the plastic. No, they were these 1 pound skeins of yarn, and they only had the green in my store. I've seen other stores on YouTube that have like different colors. They only have like the primary colors, but they only had the green in my store. But they do have those big skeins. I think they're $5. And I guess it's okay if you want that kind of yarn. But you know, I have so much yarn, I don't need that. So I did film that for this YouTube video, but I didn't film them, or I didn't have any intention of buying them. But I did want to see what the variegated colors look like. But like, if you're like me, if you're a deal finder like me, then that's not a good deal. But if you don't have a Hobby Lobby and you're not a deal magnet like me, and you go in there and you can find all kinds of clearance goods, or if you don't have that many stores in your town, but you want a variegated yarn for like $1.25 or even $1.50, which sucks, then and you only have like a Dollar Tree and like a small section at Walmart, then I guess it would be like an option you could use to, like, you know, find that pretty yarn. It's nice that they have that in Dollar Tree, but it's just not a good price for me because I'm such a cheap, you know what I'm saying, cheap person. But while I was in there, another tangent, I was looking through their posters, and they had, it sort of reminded me, this is really like a nostalgic, oh, sorry, he fell. He dozed off because my video was so boring. He was like on his face. Sorry I made you doze off, and sorry I was just so boring or whatever. No, he just fell. Maybe. No, I think he was just bored out of his freaking mind. No, I don't mean for this to be like some sort of a nostalgic video or whatever, but in my Dollar Tree, since they moved everything around, they have this section now for the posters, and it sort of reminds me of like when I was a kid, like those where they're in frames or whatever, but it's sort of like when you were growing up in like at the record store. If there's anybody out there old enough to watch it, like when you go to a record store, and then they had like the posters or whatever, they were like in the frames, and you sort of like thumb through them or whatever. They were kind of like standing up or whatever, and sort of like open like a book, and you can kind of like go through them and look at the posters, and then they had like them rolled up, you know, underneath there. They had that kind of thing in Dollar Tree, so that was kind of cool to look at. There were some posters in there that I actually kind of would have bought, sort of like for nostalgic reasons, not like really. If it was something like maybe Harry Potter or I Love Lucy, or they would never have that, or like Beatles for my mom or what, I would have bought it and not worried about the price. But like they were kind of cool from my childhood, but like I didn't get them because I was like, you know, $5 for a poster. But then the next time I went in there, they had a Wednesday poster, so I bought that for my niece without even thinking, because I'm cheap when it comes to me, but like with my niece, it's like, what, I mean, it's only $5, but like for me, I'm like $5 for a freaking poster in Dollar Tree, like, but whatever. If it's for her, it's like, well, that's a good deal for $5. It doesn't really matter. But I got this poster. I'll just show like a quick glimpse of this. But it's like a Wednesday poster. She has like thing on her shoulder, and it has like the logo, and just like a really cool poster for her playroom. But well, speaking of Wednesday, every time I drive by that Wendy's up there, I keep looking for those things to see if they're still out there. Luckily, I've heard that the second part of Wednesday season 2 came out already, and I haven't heard like back from my niece whether she saw it and whether she liked it or not. But I'm thinking, okay, now that it's over with. Season 2, then hopefully the promotion at Wendy's will wind down, and then I'll get those posters and stuff for her. But they're still up there, and like every time I see that commercial, I get so pissed. And the language or whatever the voiceover that she says something like it's pure torture, like meaning like the meal itself, that's what it's called, or whatever, like describing the meal. And then I'm thinking, yeah, it is pure torture waiting for them to for this whole promotion to be over with and these commercials to go away, so I can finally get that stuff from my niece. But whatever, I'm just like waiting for that stuff to, waiting for the call from Wendy's to say, hey, I'll come up here and get all this stuff that we ordinarily would have just thrown away, but if you want it, here you go. Anyway, so, or I'll skip ahead to like some of this crochet stuff and then kind of mix in all these, tangents or whatever I'm going to go off on. But I went to Michael's, and they had, I was looking for the big twist. Of course, they didn't have any. What a shock. And so I hate to get like really pissed off like that, or like disappointed, or I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed that they're not getting the big twist in yet, but whatever. And watch them. They get like 2 colorways in, and then I'll come on here and say, oh, they finally got it in, but like I didn't get it. I'll find some way to complain about it, how I am. But I went to Michael's just to see if they had any big twists. Of course, they didn't have any. I go in there, pop in, 2 seconds, I'm out. So they did have that Skyscape or whatever yarn. It's loops and threads or whatever. It's $7.99 a skein. I mean, it's nice and soft, and they're really pretty colors. It recommends a 4.5mm crochet hook, and so I know that it's thinner than like a medium 4 or whatever, but or like the typical medium 4. So, but it is like a really soft yarn. But I didn't want to spend $8 on one of those skeins, and so I think it was $8, and so. I didn't buy any, but I thought, well, at least they have something new in there, but none of it's big twist. And I filmed a video of like what the colorways they have, and you can see like the whole top shelf is like there's nothing on it. This is what I filmed in that video was the end cap, and then the other end cap, which I didn't get a chance to film because I just kind of like went like this really quickly. It just like sparse, like a skein here, skein there, maybe 2 skeins there. It's so just empty looking in there, and but. So they did have some new yarns, so that was a good thing. But like I don't know. But I did get a 40% off one item coupon. God, I'm such a cheap person. I'm not going to buy it for $8 or whatever, even though it would support Michael's. But, oh, they sent me a 40% off one item coupon. God. So they did send me that the other day through my email, and so I'm thinking, I might print that out just to get like 1 skein of that, because it's an odd yarn, but it's interesting enough where I might want to get it just to see what I can make with it. But at the same time, I'm not going to buy like a whole bunch of it. But like for 40% off, and like I wouldn't be able to use that for anything else, or any of the other yarns in there. They did get the Posh Pearl in. It's still labeled loops and threads, even though the sticker says BT. But I know that means big twist. But I did film that for the video. But I don't want any of that. I thought it would be soft, but that Posh Pearl feels like that Bernat blanket, which I don't like. I don't like the texture of it. That's what it sort of felt like to me. But anyway, but I will use that 40% off one item coupon just to get one skein of that Skyscape or whatever. There's a couple colorways. The one that has like the peacock feathers looking colors. That one might be kind of interesting to get. I don't know what I'll use that for, but for 40% off, I'll take a chance, because that'll bring it down under $5. So that's a sort of. But the fact that like, I don't know. I hate to like complain about Michael's prices, but like thinking about that, or like even that the yarn here that from my the impressions that I used for this chair back, the $8.99 regular price for that skein. I'm just thinking like. I don't know. I know there was a lot of yarn in that skein or whatever, but like I'm just thinking if they can regularly send out 40% off one item coupons, then I don't know. You would think that they would be able to like lower their prices just a little bit on some of that yarn, because there are some yarns that are like just ridiculously priced in there. and that if they just lowered them just a little bit, if they're able to give you a 40% off coupon, then that means that they could probably like lower their prices by 20% and just not, and then just like send you a 20% off coupon. You know what I'm saying? So it would feel better if like you saw a pretty skein in there and you looked at it and it was only like maybe $5.99. But to look at it and think, oh, this is $8.99 or $7.99, it's a lot to, you know, without, and yeah, you can get coupons and stuff. But like you think about Hobby Lobby, like their regular medium fours. I know this isn't a medium four, but you know what I'm saying. Like their regular medium fours, $4.99 regular price. They have 30% off every other week. Like that's unbeatable, you know. Whether you like to shop in there or not, it's hard not to. But with prices like that, or like, you know, discount prices like I'm able to find 75% off, that's even better. But you know what I'm saying. So I might get one of those just to see what I can use it for. It's interesting enough to think about getting one, but I'm not going to buy, you know, 10 skeins of it and make a blanket out of it. You know what I'm saying? Not for that price. But it is really pretty, and it is really soft. But it's not like I've heard bad things about that facets yarn. You know how it can kind of pull apart and everything, and I tried to do that, and it actually does kind of pull apart. This feels like it's nice and significant yarn. It's just like really soft and not soft in a way like the Soft Secret from Hobby Lobby or whatever, or like the Karen Simply Soft. It's soft like feathery soft, or like it sort of feels like a luxury yarn kind of soft. But I don't know, maybe that's why it's, you know, $8 a skein or whatever. But I'll get one, you know, with the coupon. But, you know, otherwise I probably wouldn't buy it for that. But anyway, I did work on my mom's blanket a little bit more the other day. This is like the whole reason I started to crochet in the first place, and it's still not done. It kind of bothers me. But I use I'm using single crochet. I wish it was used like it was already done, because it's going to take me so long. But I wish it was done. But it's going to take a long time because of it being single crochet. But it's gorgeous. It's turning out really nice. And but I did work on, I did a couple more rows on this the other day. And so but I wanted to show this in this light because it's really nice. But this is what it looks like. It's just like a royal blue color. It's I love this yarn color, whatever. And so I show the whole thing, but it's getting really big. But this is what it looks like. It's just like a single crochet royal blue blanket. And I've already talked about it in another video, but I just wanted to show how pretty it looks in this light. But anyway, I did work on that the other day. So there's that. And then my mom was working on what she's working on, which, you know, I'm not going to say what it is because it's a surprise for somebody. But she was working on it, and then she was a couple rows into it, and she realized that there was like a little snag in the yarn. It looked like when she went through the stitch, she like went through a piece of yarn instead of, like, you know, underneath or above or whatever. And so it looked like the yarn got a little split there. It wasn't unattached. It was just like the yarn split, like her hook went through a piece of yarn instead of under it. And so and it was just kind of hanging there. And she said, am I gonna have to pull out like 2 or 3 rows? And so what I did was I actually sort of fixed it for her. I used my hook, and I like a smaller hook, and kind of pulled it through a couple stitches, like underneath a couple stitches. Oh no, the light it's not, the light is flickering because the air conditioner is coming on. Oh, God. I'm thinking, did I put the wrong light bulb in? No, I probably put the right light bulb in, but there's the freaking air conditioner in there because it's a little hot now. But whatever. And so stupid. But anyway, but I used my little tiny hook, and I like sort of acted like I was weaving it in, even though it was like a loop of yarn. I kind of weaved it in, and then I took a piece of yarn, you know, from the skein that she was using, and then I went had it through the loop, and then I kind of like took that and went through another piece of yarn or one of the stitches, and then kind of sort of made it like a knot there, because you know, when you attach the yarn, you have those knots or whatever you have to weave in the end. So I made it look where I fixed it where it's like tucked into the stitches, kind of weaved into the stitches, and then it's also like knotted there where it just looks like one of those knots, and then she just has to weave in the ends or whatever. So I fixed it for her, so she didn't have to pull out 2 or 3 rows of what she's working on. But I did, you know, I felt really good that I fixed that for her, because, you know, she like when she made my big pride blanket, she had to pull out like rows and rows and rows because of a mistake that she made, and so because she's a perfectionist like I am, but I fixed this for her so she didn't have to pull out anything. So that was good. That's just a sort of random thing, another random thing. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I think like just 2 more things. Shout out to Nails on MJ. She's been commenting on my videos for a long time too, practically from the beginning. And then she posted, like I said in one of my videos, like if you come across a yarn deal, just like post it anywhere. Hopefully you're so excited that you just want to go to my page and just like click on some random video and just like post a comment. I don't care what video it is. It could be like any random video. But if you find a yarn deal, like I want to know about it because it's exciting to hear about. So she like clicked on one of my random videos, and it had nothing to do with like the deal or anything. But she took me up on that idea to do that, and so she like clicked on it, and so she told me about this deal. She went into her Hobby Lobby. She got a bunch of that Crafter Secret and cotton. And I told her that it's kind of hard for me to, it was hard for me to work with it, but she said it sort of made me feel a little bit better that she said it is kind of hard to work with. But for this price, I probably would have bought this too. She found like over 20 skeins of those little Crafter Secret cotton skeins at her Hobby Lobby, 4 cents a piece. I mean, that was like the most mind-blowing thing. I mean, the only thing that would have been better than that would have been if they said, oh, here, just take these, they're free. Like 4 cents a skein. Like, I know that Crafter Secret cotton is like hard to work with for me and apparently for her too. But like, who could pass up 4 cents a skein? When I read her message at first, I thought, did she, was there a typo? Did she accident? Because like those Crafter Secret cottons are 74 cents. The ones that I've gotten. And so I thought, did she just accidentally leave off the 7 when she put 4? But no, she said it again. 4 cents a skein. I could not believe that. I mean, that was just unbelievable. I just had to put that in a video because I just couldn't believe it. But anyway, and we sort of like went back and forth, you know, talking to each other in the comments. And she said that she uses that Crafter Secret cotton for you know, a couple of things. But one of the things that she uses it for is for a can cozy or koozie or whatever the hell it's called. I sort of, it doesn't sound. I never really use those words, but like a cozy or koozie, or I don't know what you use. I don't know which is right, cozy or koozie or whatever, because you know I just never use that word. But she said that that's what she uses that cotton for, and so I thought like maybe I could do one of those too, because they seem like easy enough or whatever. And she linked me to this tutorial, and you basically just like it's a really cool tutorial. I'll link to the tutorial even though I haven't used it yet, but it seems easy enough where you just you know, use a magic ring and then you do a couple rows, and then when you get there you just go in the back loop only to, you know, make the can, and so I'm gonna make some of those with some of my cotton, or probably whatever leftover Crafter Secret cotton I have to use that, because I don't want to use that really nice cotton that I actually like for like a can cozy, but like maybe I'll use that Crafter Secret cotton that I have you know, a whole bunch of, or a whole bunch. It's probably like 10 skeins, if even that, not even that many. That's what I'll probably use that for, just to use it up. But anyway, I just had to, you know, shout her out because I couldn't believe 4 cents a skein. Like that's even better than like some of the prices I heard on the last day of Joann. Like I heard some people getting skeins of yarn in Joann on the last day for like, you know, 15 cents a skein and all that stuff. 4 cents a skein. I know that they're really small, but like I don't even think that the last day of Joann could beat that. I mean, that's just crazy. But whatever. And so then the only other thing I'll talk about is sort of like a tangent. Now, I'll talk about my sister, because you know, and now he's like, he was like leaning down like this. Now he's just like, he's so bored. He didn't want to like fall forward, so he just kind of like slid down. No, it's just because he's just like propped up here. Sorry I'm boring you to tears, for God's sake. Anyway, so he's just sliding. But whatever. And so I'll talk about my sister. Since it's sort of like about my sister, in a way. Or at least I'm thinking about my sister today. I'll throw in just a couple like creative things that I've done about my sister, and so because I'm sort of proud of it. And I just thought, you know, if you're watching to this point, you're not going to mind if I, you know, go off on this little tangent about my sister. But my sister, she had a dream of like, one of her dreams was she wanted to be a singer, and she never really got an opportunity to do that. She did make some cassette tapes to like audition for like singing in this bar, and so we have these cassette tapes where she was you know, singing songs a cappella and stuff, and the fact that we even have those, a big part of like my life is like preserving memories and like how and trying to make it known how special like you should really value like pictures and home movies and that kind of stuff, because like when you lose as many people as we do in our lives, as we have in our lives, those pictures and those home movies and stuff, that they mean so much. And so it's important to like not only take pictures and take videos and home movies and stuff, but like preserve them in some way, and make sure that nothing happens to them and stuff, because they're the fact that these recordings still exist of my sister singing, it was just like crazy. And so I came across this tape one day. This was years ago, but I gave this to my mom as a Christmas present. I found this old picture of my sister like sort of like playing a piano, like she pretended to play the piano, and she like sort of played a little bit, but she wasn't like a piano player. But when she was a kid, she had this keyboard, and so I found this picture of her. Her name was Nikki, and so she this picture, see how much hair she had. She had a lot of hair. I think she's my half sister, and her on her dad's side, I think there's some Native American, and on her side, and it's just, she had a lot of hair, like just really gorgeous, like really long. There's some pictures we have of like her really long hair, and it was like really big too, like really big and full, and but I don't get that from her. I just have like big, obnoxiously big hair, which isn't like Monica's, yet. But the more it dries, the more it's just gonna, like I'm in Barbados. But she had this really long, pretty wild hair. Sort of matched her personality. She was like a really wild, free spirit kind of person. But whatever. And so I gave this to my mom. I took that cassette tape and I digitized it, and put it on a CD. And I designed the CD case with her on it. And so what I did was, this is the kind of weird creative stuff that I do. And I don't mean weird in like a bad way. I mean like weird, like sort of off the wall, kind of offbeat sort of stuff. Like weird, like cool weird. So this is the kind of stuff that I do. And so with my graphic design ability, I took that picture, and I blackened, or I grayscaled the background, and like so she's in color, and that's what she looks like playing her little piano. And then this right here, this is how she would sign her cards. I scanned one of the birthday cards or whatever card it was, and I took her signature. This is how she like wrote her name, and she like put these stars over the eyes or whatever. And so because I love like space and stars and all that kind of stuff, I thought like maybe I can use that imagery of the stars, because she put it on her name when she signed it, use that in a way to like describe my sister or whatever. And so the CD, I called it Undiscovered Star. So that's what I called her little CD of like songs or whatever. And I made like a little track listing and all that kind of stuff on the back. But what I wrote up here, and this is like an example of like how I can put things into words, even though you wouldn't think I had a great ability to like put things into words, the way I'm a total mess in these videos, and ums and knows and all that stuff. But whatever. So this is what I wrote, and so it's called Undiscovered Star. And so I put Nikki, like a star, shined with vibrance, warmth, and light, and even existing virtually undiscovered, just one star among infinite others, never did it affect how brightly she burned. The existence, survival, and discovery of these songs and audio recordings prove a star's light continues to shine through time and space even after it's gone. And so I love that. And so I gave that to my mom, and I gave one to my grandma too for Christmas one year. Not only does this have like the songs that like when she was older, but I found some old recordings of like me and my sister. I should put this in just to embarrass myself. No, we were singing, because like I'm like an OG, and I hate to even use that term, but I'm like an original Mariah Carey fan. Like I was a kid, and like I had the cassette tape of like the original Mariah Carey CD. Like I was one of the original fans of Mariah Carey, and there's this my sister was probably carrying around a little tape player or whatever, like making funny recordings or whatever, and you can hear us in the background trying to hit that high note in Someday, and so we're like Someday, and then like basically screaming the high note. It's hilarious, and so and because like I used to pretend to like hit those high notes and stuff, and we were pretending to be Mariah Carey trying to hit those high notes. It was just utterly ridiculous. And so I do have that. I did put that on here, and there are a couple other songs, and I'll talk more about this CD or whatever in my website network. But like but that's what's on this CD, like the songs that she sang, just like into her because she had a dream to be a singer, and she just never got a chance to be a singer. And so I mean, like she was never recognized for it in some way, or because of her life not turning out that way. But she did sing on stage a few times, that bar or whatever, and she did sing it. Maybe I should throw this out there, but no, I doubt it's even going to exist. But like my sister, later in life, she lived in Texas, and it was during Hurricane Katrina. She was in Texas, and she was at in Houston. and like when the people that were displaced because of Hurricane Katrina, when they all went to Houston, she went there. Like she was in Texas and whatever, and she saw all those people there, and so she went out there, and she said that she started singing. I think it was like Amazing Grace or something, and she, like, all the people were out there waiting and whatever, and they were just displaced because of the storm and everything, and she started singing to the crowd, and I thought, I've looked for that video so many times over the years, like, you know, in all the footage of like Hurricane Katrina and the aftermath and stuff. I'm sure that nobody filmed it or whatever, because it wasn't like it is now where everybody has a camera phone. But I wish that like somebody would have recorded that, because it would be so cool to like see that, you know, her like sort of serenading the crowd or whatever, Amazing Grace, and like giving them a little bit of hope or whatever. Like that's what a wonderful person my sister was. I just wish that video existed, but I just feel like it probably doesn't. But she loved to sing, and so that's why I wanted to like preserve her songs on a CD, and that's what I did one year for my mom for Christmas and stuff. But like, you know, Alanis Morissette songs, Fiona Apple, like it's just like really cool. And then when she was younger, she sang some Christmas songs because my dad was in the Navy, and my mom would record onto a cassette tape, like messages to my dad, you know, send it to him while he was in the military, and they were, I came across one year for Christmas, I was taking those tapes and putting those on, making those to CDs for my mom. I didn't do anything special like this, but I put them on a CD for my mom to preserve those tapes. And in those tapes, it was my mom playing the piano, because my mom could play the piano, and my sister, who was like really young. I was probably like 1 or 2, if even that. And my sister was like 4 or 5, and she was singing Christmas songs to my dad, who was her stepdad, but she called, you know, her stepdaddy. And so she was singing Christmas songs. So it was like such a find, like an amazing find, to find those, like her singing Christmas songs. This was after she died and everything. I was giving this to my mom, like putting all these songs on the CD for my mom, and then to come across those too, like, you know, her singing actual Christmas songs, like Silent Night, Oh Come All Ye Faithful, Away in a Manger, and all that. And so it was like the sweet, you know, little 4 or 5 year old my sister, like, singing, you know, Christmas songs, and I got to put that on this CD too. So it was just like really sweet. So it was like the perfect gift for my mom on Christmas. And then another so that's just like the whole story about the CD. So I was thinking about my sister today, you know, because of the, you know, what's going on today. But anyway, and then this other thing, which I'll show, because I was talking about like how wild her hair is. It's a perfect thing to show. But this is another thing I could do. I haven't nurtured my ability. I have the ability to draw. I recognize that, but I also recognize that I haven't nurtured it enough to like really be skilled at it, because I have so many other creative interests and stuff. And like I've said in some of my other videos, it sort of feels like creative people are kind of like chameleons, and we sort of gravitate towards like 1 or 2 kinds of creative things that we do. But like if we try to do something else creative, we just seem to be able to have the ability to do that. It's sort of like we're inherently creative people, and we're kind of like chameleons, where we can sort of we discover that we can do all kinds of creative things that we didn't realize that we could do. And so like when I went in when I was in high school, I took computer art, and then we had to, you know, draw by hand first, and I realized that I do have an ability to draw, and I haven't really nurtured this like I should. I've done some portraits of some other people, but I haven't really nurtured it the way that I should have. But I just have so many other creative interests. I'm a writer first, and they're like graphic design, love graphic design and all that kind of stuff, and then, you know, now I'm getting into crochet, but I haven't nurtured this like I should. But like I recognize I have an ability to draw. I wish I was better at it, but I just haven't worked on it as much as I should. But I did this picture, and her hair is wild as hell, because like the face part is exactly like this picture that we have of my sister. I think like one of her boyfriends, like, you know, pulled a shower curtain and, like, you know, took a picture of like her in the shower. She wasn't, it was like, you know, from here up. It was like, you know, her head. It was like this really pretty picture of my sister. She was like sort of taken off guard, but like, you know, her big smile. She always had a really big smile. And so she, there's just a really pretty picture of my sister, and so I took that picture because we love her face and her big smile. She always had a really big smile, and so I took that picture, and then I sort of I exaggerated her took artistic license. I sort of exaggerated her hair. Like it wasn't much. If her hair wasn't wet in the original picture, that's probably what her hair would have looked like. She always had like really big wild hair, and so just how full her hair was all the time. And so I sort of like took artistic license to kind of represent how, you know, what a free wild spirit she was. And so I just did this kind of like portrait from my mom of my sister, and so I mean, yeah, it's not perfect or whatever, but it's her. I mean, it looks like her, and I know if I would have nurtured my a talent of like drawing and stuff, it would have looked even better. But like my mom just loved it, so it's like a picture of my sister that I drew, and I gave it to her one Christmas. I think it was 2018, so that's how long ago that was. But and I've done portraits of other people and stuff like that. I'll show, you know, maybe in the future, but I just wanted to show that. So I am more than a crochet. I do, you know, graphic design, or like I can draw or whatever. Or there's other things that I do. I haven't really found a reason to show any of that stuff on my channel yet, but I guess I just found an excuse to do that. But I thought, if I'm going to be talking about my sister today of all days, I thought, you know, I'm going to, you know, put in a video whether it, you know, it gets people to view this far into it or not, because, you know, it's just for my sister. I wanted to kind of honor my sister today. Anyway, and so like speaking about the whole like teddy bear thing, I still need to make the little pillow case thing that I'm going to put his old sweater in. You know, because I made this sweater for my teddy bear, the teddy bear that she gave me. And when I say that, like, she gave it to me when she was a kid, like she, I wasn't even in school yet. I was like, you know, 3 or 4, whatever, and she was like maybe 4 or 5. She was a couple years older than me. So she gave me her teddy bear, and then, you know, she lived for, you know, years and years afterwards. So, but I always kept it or whatever, because, you know, it was the teddy bear that I loved when I was a kid, and it came from my sister, and I always think about her when I look at it. And so, but I still have this. But I do want to take the sweater and make that thing, like I said in the video where I was talking about, you know, making this sweater. I want to take some yarn and like make a little pillowcase for this, to kind of like, you know, fold this up in it as the stuffing, and to protect the original sweater, and then so it looks like a little pillow that it can go next to. And then I might do that same thing for the hat, like make another hat for the teddy bear, but I'm not really sure. It's still attached really well to his hat, and there's no you know, snags, or it's not coming apart anywhere in this like the sweater was. The sweater had a couple areas like this, like that, you know, a couple areas like that. So I wanted to protect it, or like a couple areas where you could tell, like my mom tried to fix it over the years and stuff. But so I did want to protect this sweater, but I don't know. But I do still want to make the little pillow, like just a little pillow, maybe like this size. And you know, I bought the little button for it and everything, and so I'm just like a little pillow, so like a little pocket, almost like a little envelope that's made out of crochet, and then just like put, you know, tuck this in there like the stuffing. But I still haven't done that yet, but I will. So anyway, other than that, I think that's about it. I did reach 5,000 watch hours on my channel, which is, of course, by the time this comes out, it's probably it's exceeded that already. But the other day it reached 5,000 hours, which is, I figured out it was like 208 days worth of time. It was just like, it's crazy to think of that, you know. I mean, not like one person has watched that long, but like, you know, collectively, you've all spent like 208 days worth of time watching my ridiculous videos. God, it was crazy to realize that. So that was a big deal. And I'm like, you know, inching towards 900 subscribers as I'm filming this. So you know, hopefully I'll reach like 1,000 and stuff. So it's just, I don't know. All this is just, you know, wonderful. All this, you know, stuff with my crochet and the yarn and stuff, and but whatever. And it sort of feels good that like I have enough support from like the people that like, I know that like if people get to there are people that watch my videos that are probably gonna enjoy listening to the stories about my sister and stuff, and so it sort of feels really good that I know that I have enough support in my my viewers and stuff, that they're gonna actually, you know, appreciate the stories that I tell about my sister and all, especially today of all days. But so that's how much I feel the support from all of you out there, that I sort of, I'm content knowing that I know that there are people out there that will actually appreciate that the stuff, and like appreciate hearing about my sister. And so it's like a really good feeling. It's a good feeling, you know, to be on YouTube and you know, connect with all of you people and stuff, and also feel like I mean, yeah, some of the stories I don't have to tell, you know, like, you know, Crumb or whatever. But like, I felt really good that I, you know, could talk about my sister in a way that I know that there are going to be people that are going to appreciate it, even if you don't like comment or whatever. I know that there are people that, you know, will actually appreciate the stories about my sister and stuff. So it's just a really good feeling. But anyway, especially today of all days, because, you know, it just, you know, just thinking about her. But anyway, so I guess that's enough for this video. This is just a really all over the place, you know, random video and stuff. But I hope you enjoyed listening to this and seeing all this, you know, random stuff or whatever. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.
Someday, yeah. Boy, you're gonna take this baby. I'm the one you're wishing for someday, yeah.